Hi all, today we'll be learning about GitHub, Git and how to work with repositories in general. We'll be going through how to fork and clone a repository, how to look at the issues, create issues and get yourself assigned to it, how to push your commits to your local fork of a repository, and how to create a pull request after you have made the feature. This way you'll learn about open source in general and how to contribute to your favorite projects. So let's get started. As you can see, I'm here at the repository mentorship program under the organization of GirlScriptSummerOfCode. They have a very beautiful README over here with a lot of information on how to be a mentor for the project. So the first step would be to fork this into our username. Forking is basically getting a copy of the repository under your username so that you can make your own changes, and then when you feel it is ready for merging into the actual project, you can finally raise a pull request from your own local copy of it. So let's get started. To fork a repository, all you have to do is click on the fork button. So as you can see that you can either fork to your own organization or to your username. For now, let's go with the username. And done. So we have a fork ready here. To work on this, we would like to clone the repository to our local system. This can be done by using the clone button over here. Here you can find the URL of the repository. You can see it ends with .git. This tells that it is a Git repository. I'll use VS Code, which is my editor of choice, to clone this now. As you can see, there's already an option to clone a Git repository within VS Code. There's also a way to clone a repository using CLI. I'll cover both of those methods. You simply go to git clone, paste in the URL, hit enter, choose the directory where you want this repository to be cloned to. I'll keep my home directory for now and just wait for 2 seconds. Done. Now we open the repository and we can see the code base already here. I'll use the preview feature of VS Code and we can see somewhat similar output as on the website. Now let's use the terminal to do the same. We can clone it by using git clone. It's cloning and it's done. We can find the folder again and open it. If we go to the original project, you see there are no issues over there right now. Let's change something. I feel that we can have some emojis over here. So let's create an issue to suggest the same to the authors of the project. At this point, you should wait for the response from the authors and the maintainers of the project to get more feedback. But since it is just for demo purpose, we'll go ahead and write a feature for this, right? We'll go to the code base. We'll add an emoji over here and maybe here and maybe here. And why not here? I think it looks good. Let's see the preview. Nice, nice, and nice. I think the feature is ready. Let's commit it now. As you can see, VS Code is already telling that there are some changes that I've made. If I open the terminal, you can see my CLI setup is also showing that there are some changes. We can do git status, which shows us that we have modified readme. M and readme file is denoting the same on VS Code panel over the left. We need to commit it as explained over here. So we can either use VS Code or CLI tool to create a commit message. Right now the changes are not staged. That is, we have not yet finalized on these changes to become part of a commit. To make a change staged, we can either use the VS Code plus functionality over here, or we can add it directly from CLI. As you can see, the VS Code has also reflected the same. Now we have to commit the change. While committing, we are basically creating a new point in Git history. If you check the log in a Git repository, you'll find all these commit messages. Commit messages usually follow a convention within an organization. In general, they are in present tense and short and concise. For now, we can add get commit and a message, add emojis to readme. We can hit enter, or we can also write the same over here and use the check mark. Whichever interface you prefer, you can use. Now you can see that status has been changed. If I do git status, it says that my local branch is a commit ahead of the master branch. VS Code shows the same over here. So now we need to push it to our local repository, right? How to do so? We can do git push origin master. Here origin is a remote and master is the branch name. We'll learn about remote in a while when we learn about upstreams. As you can see, my commit has been pushed to the remote repository. If you go to the website again and check my fork of it, you can see that I'm a commit ahead and you can see what all changes I made. I think it looks good. We can raise a pull request now. As you can see, we have this pull request button in my local repository. Here you can see that my local copy is being merged into the actual one. Don't worry, nothing is merged until the PR is accepted by the original maintainer of the repository. As you can see, GitHub UI is very nice and it lets you know the issue numbers. So if I do #1, it is basically going to point to the issue which just created. The numbers are shared between pull request and issues, so keep that in mind. Tada! We have a pull request ready now. The reviewer of the code can check what all commits you made, can check the diff, and probably review it. At this point, you can tag some of the maintainers to review your code. And now you would wait for the pull request to be reviewed and then finally accept it. I hope this was informative and you learned something about Git and GitHub from this video. Bye.